Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to RP-1. In our last episode, we did a lot of simulating. Simulate. This is Simulation Simulator. Ignore this. So, what we did is Grasshopper 1, which, oh yeah, I added a cool clamp arm. I don't know. I just thought it looked cool. It looked weird having this big platform. So I wanted to add something. And I've considered removing the boosters because we totally can. What's tricky about doing that is I kind of like having one craft that can launch a bunch of things into orbit, and this could probably, you know, with the boosters, it can lift quite a few more kilograms into low Earth orbit than without the boosters, but I'm pretty sure this particular launch could manage without the boosters. So I'm interested to try removing them, but I kind of don't know if I want to remove them from the general design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save Grasshopper generic, and that way we kind of have this locked in, and then we're going to change Grasshopper 1 specifically to not have it. Potentially. And we also need to modify our LC here because we don't have the right stuff. So let's go ahead and get that started. So we'll modify the LC, and now I want to simulate one last time, and we'll try without the boosters. And let me just make sure my staging's correct. And if this mission works, then we are happy, hunky-dory people. So let's go ahead and test the Grasshopper 1 here. Oh, I didn't save the generic into the right folder. Okay, we're not starting in orbit. Go ahead and simulate. And we are hopefully going to see another successful mission for the... What are we even doing right now? And why is that open? What mission are we doing? We're doing the magnetometry. That's right. Low and high Earth orbit. Magnetic scan. And it needs to be at sunrise. So that's important. Because if it's not at sunrise, then we don't have our solar panels pointed in the right direction. And we want to test that. So, too late. Try again. Sunset, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm gonna call that good enough. If it works like this, it'll work at sunrise. And these numbers are weird again. This isn't what I remember leaving it on. It was 65 million and 145. And current inclination. Last stage is 1. Early shutoff is 5. Unguided is 2, 3. There is no coast stage. Booster pitch rate, I think, was 0.7, but without boosters, it's going to need to be a little bit slower. Is that right? Slower or faster? A little bit slower. Let's try 0.6. All right. 3, 2, 1. Simulate. Don't know why that's... Sometimes that opens and sometimes it doesn't. It's very inconsistent. And hot staging lead time is also wrong. We need that to be 1 point... this thing takes forever to spin up. What is it? 1.2? So we gotta fix that. Okay. We'll fast forward a bit here. See if our little torpedo can make it without the boosters. According to this, we still have 418 delta V to spare. We'll see what happens, and if we have aerodynamic instability. Gosh, why does that keep opening? That's so annoying. Yeah, I was worried about this because, oh my gosh, this thing. It opens on every stage. Because of not having the boosters, we're popping this open at a lower altitude. So that means I need bigger fins on this guy. I am still a little confused why... Because when we look at this... Oh, no, I guess it's pretty far up there. How does that not really have an impact? It's really weird. Moving that up doesn't have much of an impact. Do these actually matter? I'm gonna take that as a no. These do not actually matter. That's just for looks. Actually looks like they're moving it slightly, but not doing much. This thing is really hard to get aerodynamically stable. I'm thinking popping the nose cone just at the beginning might be the solution. But we'll try with just extra long fins here. And we'll see how this goes. Staging is still correct. I also could just try, whatchamacallit? I could just try turning on the RCS, and that will help have a little bit more attitude control. So we'll try that this time. 2, 3, 1, 5, engage. Launch. Ta-da. Let's see if this goes a little better. And then I will turn on RCS right before we stage here. No! Still doesn't work. Wow. I swear this thing is gonna be the death of me. Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording. I'll be back. Removing the boosters just made more problems for me. Okay, we fixed the issue, and it's just because I'm now staging the fairings up here. This pointy fairing was incredibly bad for my center of lift. It was, as soon as the nose got the tiniest bit pointed sideways, it just completely took over. So I think that was the problem. I feel like it was just too pointy and long. I don't know. I don't know what was going on, but we're gonna fast forward this bad boy because we got a long burn ahead of us. 200 seconds remaining here. But according to this, we still have 400 spare delta V, which is great. So we're just confirming that this works. We've already tested this twice, I think, without any changes. But that was yesterday for me, or 2 days ago even. I don't know, what day was that? I don't remember. The important point is I need to make sure this works before we spend all the money and time on it. Oops. Should not have fast forwarded. I was watching this number and not this number, which I've made that mistake many times now. Alright, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is when it starts slowing down. And then that's when we get a bigger wobble. So I think what we want to do is put our drop solids early down to like a 0.3. Because we get a lot more of that wobble there at the end. And I'm hoping I mean, we have more than enough delta V. The problem is I don't think it understands that in the delta V calculations. But that was still pretty much what we wanted here. A little bit low on the periapsis. All right, we're gonna try simulating one more time. I'll go ahead and pause the recording, save you guys the beginning trouble. Okay, here we are at the end of the burn with 0.3 early drop time for solids. But it's not bad, and it seems to be mostly canceling out as they rotate. And then here at the end, they start to slow down. And we're throwing away about 50 delta V, but the wobble's definitely better. I don't like throwing away that delta V. Because that does make me think we're going to get the wrong orbit here. Whoa. Yeah, see, we're a little undershot on those. This is an interesting... I mean, I could increase artificially my peri and apo a little bit, because it seems like it's underdoing both. Because we're dropping the solids early. Kind of an interesting problem, isn't it? Because I'm not really sure if there's a way... We can't tell MechJeb to, like, add 50 delta V more than it thinks it should. Like, there's no manual delta V correction. What we would need here is a way to tell MechJeb manually that the delta V this stage is reporting is actually 50 less, you know? And so don't count on that for 2301, only count on it for 2250. And then that would give us a more accurate burn profile. But instead, let's try 150 and 67 million. We'll try this out, see how it goes. Okay, and we're back. Let's see how this goes. 10 seconds to separation. Expecting. Engine failures are turned off, so it's not like it's gonna fail or anything. Chaos. Alright. Huh. This time the periapsis is very close to what we wanted. So maybe the inaccuracy from the other launch... Well, no, it's a little bit lower. Yeah, it's still about 2 kilometers lower. And that's a good bit lower. So yeah, this is about right. Let's confirm that we do end up actually accomplishing the orbit that we want here, which is this one. We got to get the periapsis above 3 mil, and then we're good to go. All right. Slow-mo. Okay, we are mostly facing below the horizon, which actually means we'll be adding vertical speed, so I wouldn't want to start now, because if I start now, we're going to end up with too much vertical speed. So I do want to go a little bit forward here. Let's look at our actual, let's go like 10 seconds before. Okay, slow-mo. Now we are close to 0 vertical speed, but we still mostly have below the horizon. So I actually think firing our engine a little bit later is going to end up with a more balanced orbit, with less radial or anti-radial thrust. So I'm going to give this another, I'm going to give it like 20 seconds. Uh-oh, we lost our counters. Kind of gone. Maybe I'll wait till vertical speed is 1 meter a second. -1. Oh. Forgot about the decoupler. We may need to decrease the force percent on that. Those decouplers end up changing things more than I'm comfortable with. So that needs to be on my reminder list. Don't forget to change the force percent. Yeah, see, we're ending up with a large amount of vertical speed here anyway. I could have waited even longer. Ooh, geez, that was close. Oh, we barely got that. That was a little scary, actually. But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta hope it works. So what we're gonna change is only a tiny bit of stuff here. Number one is we're gonna open this, and we're going to increase our fuel of nitrous oxide by just the tiniest bit, so that the delta V goes up to like 191. .192 is great. Just a couple extra meters a second. That'll help compensate for cosine losses from our wiggling. And also not having the correct orbit in the first place. Okay, and then the other thing I was going to change is the force percent on this. Change that down to 1. And then did I need to change anything else? I don't think so. Grasshopper 1 is finished. So we'll go ahead and leave because we have to finish modifying our LC. And so the grand plan... I mean, let's think about some dates here. So we're in May of 59. So that's going to be like a month or two from now. May, June, July. So July 59 is going to be launch. Going to be Grasshopper 1 for magnetometry. And then we're going to need another month and a half to do the no. What's the other one? The Chernikov detection. So September of 59, it's Grasshopper 2, which is going to be Chernikov. Shoot, I just remember. Wait. I just thought about comms. What are we doing with comms again? The comms in this are the Communotron here. What are you? Okay, we are tier 2. We are tier 2. Oh, I didn't check the power on that. I hope that's good enough. You know what? I'm done simulating. I'm flying by the seat of our Kerbals, and we're just gonna go with it. I'm pretty sure we set that up right. I'm just gonna trust that I did. Anyway, we're gonna warp to complete here. Oh, I need 58 orbital rocketry anyway before we can start this. Never mind. We're not gonna be done till August of 59. So this is gonna be October of 59. And then this is gonna be probably December of 59. These are kind of my hopeful dates. And then what I'd like to do is the gravimetric, because that's going to give us a lot of science. So then somewhere around February of 59, we want to launch the Grasshopper 3 gravimetric satellite. So these are our science collectors of all kinds. And this is not done until April of 61, so we have plenty of time. Even with a failure or two, we'll be okay. Sweet. I will need a tier 2's tracking station. Hopefully I can afford that at some point. But yeah, let's go ahead and warp here. And then get the Grasshopper 1 integrated, which is very exciting. I think it's certainly our best looking rocket to date. Mid satellites. Oh, look at the unlock cost and the tooling cost. Woof, we are spending our unlock credit. What is costing so much? I wonder. Is it the RDO 105? This is costing us 65 grand? Yeah, that'll do it. Oh, I still can't. I'm dumb. And the tooling, we're paying for the shorter 2.7 meter tank is 11 grand. And the fairing, this fairing is expensive. I probably could have found a way to do that without having that fairing pop off, but whatever. Whatever. I don't care. Alright, so that's done. Oh, it's too light. Ha! Crap. Well, crap. We actually need a little more juice in this bottom stage. But then that still doesn't get us there, because this is... I wish they made all these weigh 1 kilogram or less. Having these weigh a bunch doesn't really help you. Do your math here. Okay, so that gets us to where we could launch, but then it wants us to tool the tank again because it's so long. Oh, come on. Where else can I get a little bit more weight? How can I make this heavier? Oh, jeez. I paid for the tooling before it was ready, and now I regret it. You know what? No, who cares? I'll pay an extra 3 grand for tooling. Well, 4 grand, but we have 216,000 unlock credit. We'll be okay. I'll be fine. Alright, but I still can't launch because the RDO 105 is not available. And then, I don't know what else we're unlocking. What other part are we unlocking? Because that's only 65 of my 80 grand unlock cost. Alright, well, we warping. And are we done with... We are. Infrared radiometry is finished. Ta-da! Our income is negative because of the tracking station. I don't love that. We have lots of science points, 51 points, 56 points. We just keep collecting more. All right, and then we'll warp to the completion of orbital rocketry. Perfect. Now we are at an income of 524. Oof, juicy. Now the tracking station upgrade to level 3 is just another 50 grand. Completes on 12 of October 59. Can I afford that? Cost a day is 844. Not really. I might wait till I launch the rocket, because that's going to cost me money too when I'm building the rocket. And I don't know what happens if you run out of money. I'm actually curious. I wonder what happens. Anyway, what are my other optionals here? The lunar probe stuff is required. I'm not worrying about that. I've already looked at this one. There's the gravimetric. That one we'd want to do. I might do this one as well, but the radiometry, what is this? Follow on. Launch an additional weather satellite. Must carry an early TV camera. Between those orbits, very low eccentricity, above 50 degrees. Yeah, I mean, if we just need some more reputation, I could do that. It's not a ton of reputation, and I already have plenty of confidence, so I don't really care too much about that. Let's go ahead and build the grasshopper. I do wish it would show you the unlocks that you're unlocking. Sorry, that's such poor wording. I wish it would show you the cost of these unlocks. So like the GCRC is one of them, and that is costing me 21 grand. Wait, that's not adding up right. Oh, the GCRC, sorry. The GCRC unlock is only 5 grand. Okay, so that's 5 grand, and then we're also spending for the RDO 105 65 grand. So that's 70 grand. And that's most of the cost right there. It's also weird that that says 70,862 and this says 80,862. Where's that 10,000 discrepancy coming from? I do not know. Oh. There's 2 unlock windows. We have to pay for the modular RCS once. So the 80 grand was correct. Got it. All right, Grasshopper 1 is added and will be done in late August. Perfect. It's been a while since we've done an actual launch. Now, I know I should design the other one so that we start building it as soon as that's done, but I'm gonna say screw it and not do that. Because I just want to launch an actual craft into orbit. We're not in a crazy rush. We can waste a week or whatever it's gonna take. Okay, we do need it to be sunrise though. We'll wait for that. That... What? No. That's not sunrise. That's like way after sunrise. What a terrible sunrise warp that was. Why was that so bad? I don't trust you anymore. With my sunrise times. That was weird. Something like this should be just about right. Alright, let's try it. Grasshopper 1. Will you be a failure? The RDO 105 is a pretty scary failure rate. I'm gonna quick save here. Our ascent guidance is all... Oh, the hot... Well, no, hot staging... We're not hot staging these stages anyway. Never mind. I thought that could have been part of the weirdness with that, but I don't think it is. Last stage is 1. Shut off is 5. Unguided 2, 3. Engage. Okay. Nothing for it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Launch. Well, we have liftoff. Keep an eye on our engine here. I can turn off ascent settings. Nothing too fancy going on here. Just a nice 90-second burn. It's going to go a little further than it did before, which should help the aerodynamics of the upper stage. Take a few screenshots along the way. I can see my house from here. So cool. All those different launch complexes that we haven't paid for, but are still there. Very neat. Alright, what do we got? 30 seconds left? I'm definitely going to fast forward the 5-minute one, don't worry. We're not going to sit here for 5 minutes. Still no failures. That's good. We shouldn't have any failures. Mean time between failures is 1 hour, so it would be 30 launches on average per failure if I'm burning it for 2 minutes. But it's the next one I'm worried about. Wow, I just realized the ignition chance. Why is this happening? What the actual heck? I'm turning on RCS, that should fix it. I don't understand that. Because the we were higher up, which means there's a thinner atmosphere pushing on us. I don't understand why that happened. The important part is this thing ignited. Ignited? I think that's the right word. It's sounding wrong to my head for some reason. But anyway, and now we just hope that it burns for 3 minutes straight, which is like a 10% failure chance. But we're collecting good data units. Alright, 80 seconds, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. 2, 1, go. Alright, success. All 4 are ignite. Ignite? That's definitely not a word. All 4 engines ignited. And we've got ourselves a flying piece of craziness. Let's see how bad the wobble. Uh-oh. Got a pretty bad wobble. Pretty bad wobble. Okay. Done, and I will separate. I mean, does it matter when I separate? I don't think it does. Because I think my rotation stays the same either way. But yeah, that's a really bad wobble. We're going from -10 up to 25. It's a 35 degree, so 17 degree wobble, I guess. That's what that means. That's pretty large. And my apoapsis is just straight up not big enough, is it? We only got to 55? How did that go so wrong? None of the other ones were even close to that bad. Is this going to be enough eccentricity? Let me pull up my calculator real quick. If we have 55, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 by 32, 1, 2, 3. No, 3200, 1, 2, 3. Counting the zeros when I say 1, 2, 3. That is an eccentricity of 0.73. Damn it. This mission's a failure. And I don't understand why. MechJeb really was off on this one. Or I shouldn't necessarily blame MechJeb. I think it was the solid rockets. Did one of them fail towards the end? I didn't notice they did. But that could have caused something. Crap. I mean, we might as well do the thing, but it's not gonna matter. Such a bummer. It's not gonna matter. Warp to apoapsis. For 2 hours, 5 minutes. Seems like my wobble's gotten worse. What is this? 40 degrees of a wobble? It wasn't that bad before, was it? Gosh. Well, this is definitely a bad launch. It's funny, you do all these simulations and you never get this unlucky in the simulation. Because really, I think this was a luck thing. I'm not really sure why this one's so much further off and the wobble's so much worse. I'm curious to maybe go back and watch the footage because I'm like, maybe it does have something to do with, okay, so we're 35 on that end, but we're 45 on this end, which means we're still facing too much down. So I need to wait a little bit. I'm gonna wait till we have a vertical speed of -2. But yeah, I think the cosine losses are too much for this anyway. Maybe that means we'll keep our 0.75 eccentricity. Oh, I guess it's gonna cheese the system anyway. I don't like that. Oh no, we'll have to get 3 million here. I don't think we're gonna get our 3 million. Yeah, not even close. Well, Grasshopper 1 was a failure. For reasons I don't completely understand. Ironically, it's completed the vessel for Cherenkov detection, but not for this one. Also, I noticed, okay, I did notice an issue. We need to fix this right now, actually. There's something going on with the magnetometry data. So, if we look at magnetic scan, no, sorry. Is that right? Is that right? Is it magnetic scan? I swear these numbers were lower before. Maybe we put this on a different ship? Now I've confused myself. I guess we just have a little bit of space load data that we still haven't gotten. Okay, never mind. Also a mass spectrometry data from flying high, but that's not very much data. Okay, anyway, I don't know what happened here. And I think it's just variance in the solid rocket motors. There's also a little bit of issue with the whole thing turning over again. I'm just gonna make those a little bit longer. Goodness, can't believe I'm doing that. Grasshopper 2. It's more like Grasshopper 1, 2. The second version of number 1. 1.2. Yeah, I just don't understand what happened. I'm wondering if one of those solid motors failed there at the end. Let's test another one and just see what happens with the exact same settings. Exact same settings. Oops. 1, 5, 2, 3. Engage. Okay, same settings. Go ahead and launch. I'll go ahead and skip you guys forwards. Okay, let's see how separation goes. It's... Turn on RCS. It's still wanting to flip over. Oh, RCS helped us get there this time. Perfect. It could be because we flipped over. It screwed us over. And it's possible that the reason we flipped over is because I added another ton of weight to the bottom stage. It was a little bit heavier, but it pitched over at the same rate, even though it ended up with more delta V, so that might have changed our final angle of attack versus pitch situation to have a little bit more air pushing us sideways, you know, like that could have been why we flipped over. I don't know if I'm completely sure why that happened. But that still doesn't explain why our wobble was so bad compared to what it has been. We've never had a wobble that was that bad. We've had some wobble, but not like that insano crazy amount. Yeah, I'm wondering if one of these... It's really unlikely it failed, though. The mean time between failures is very long. Stop, please. See, this is much better. Maybe the problem is the intermediate axis all over again? No, because this doesn't have... This is radially symmetric. So maybe the longer moment is end over end and that's causing issues? I don't know. See, this one got to 147.65. Ugh. We must have had a failure. There's a part of me that wonders if it screwed up because we flipped end over end, but it was continually recalculating the orbits still. So it should have compensated for us flipping end over end. Because it's recalculating the orbit we want, and it was, you know, pointing us to still be in the right spot for the unguided stages. So I'm wondering if one of these failed in some way. Now, as far as when we decouple, I don't know if it matters, but I'm going to try to decouple as close as I can to pointing towards the horizon here. And right now we're going between 20 and, I don't know, 5. We only have like a 5 to 7 degree wobble right now. Does that get worse over time? Got 10 hours to apoapsis. $30, $20, $10. Now see, in this case, it's the same wobble. I feel like our wobble got worse. On the real launch. But in simulation, it's not getting worse. We wouldn't have a different physics algorithm for simulation versus real, right? That would be rude. Surely that's not the case. Okay, our angle is -10 to 0 right now, so yeah, we still gonna wait a little bit. Hyperwarp here. It's still mostly off center, so I'm gonna give it another. We'll wait till -3 for vertical speed. Alright, go ahead and fire. I'm just gonna hyperwarp it. And we end with basically exactly what we wanted. Ugh, goodness. Wow. Okay. I guess we just have an inconsistent launch vessel. Launch vehicle. Time to pay another 15 grand and 40 days. Well, it's okay. We said we have plenty of extra time. But I am gonna need to pick some new researches. I think we're gonna go with that one for sure to unlock all these nodes. More engineer, maximum efficiency, fairings get a little bit lighter. Hinged solar panels are going to be huge. And what's this tech level? We go from 11.2 mass to 10.6, so they're a little bit lighter. They're a little bit cheaper again, 400 down to 350. 90 watt to 100 watt, and degradation is 20 after 30, 20 after 30. So I mean, that's nice, but just a generic upgrade. Solar panels get a little better in every way. Ooh, those are fun looking. And then generic upgrades, lowering science core mass and power, near Earth mass and power, and deep space mass and power. I mean, that's a nice upgrade, but it certainly isn't required. We do need a level 4 tracking station for the contracts that we're going to be working on soon. So I actually think I'm going to hit that one up. And then... Ooh, an Altair 2? Wait, what is that? Is that even better? ISP of 279? Wow. TWR of 109? Goodness. And... 119 liters at 228, and this one carries 129 liters. Oh, of PBAA, it has a different type of fuel. And the variance is lower, 1.6, 2.4. No, it's about the same variance. But what's the GCSC? See, the variance on this is 3.5 and 5.3% flow. That's a much larger variance. That means, you know, whenever it switches to calculate a new variance, these guys could be 5%. I assume it's just 5% above or below the average flow rate. I don't know if that's exactly how it does the math, but I assume it's something like that. And yeah, I mean, we just need our orbital rocketry. What is this? First ORSC engine. Oxygen-rich staged combustion. 338 ISP. 5 ignitions. Subject to ullage. 5 ignitions. Do you hear that? 5 ignitions. That's a beautiful sound. Oh, I love the sound of that. Okay. For now, we'll just queue up these things, and we'll go ahead and warp. What's my income right now? 331. I'm almost ready to upgrade the tracking station. All right, roll out. I know I'm not being the most time efficient right now. Okay. Let us attempt the Grasshopper 2. Goodness. Quick save, because the chance I screw something up is non-zero. Ascent guidance. The settings are still the same. 1, 5, 2, 3. And we just have to remember to hit the RCS button when this stage goes to decouple. This time for sure. We're hyperwarping, we're hyperwarping. Hyperwarping. Enable RCS. Now. And perfect. Mostly stayed under control. Alright, good. Okay. Now, are we gonna have an engine failure? Just to really sweeten the deal? Or are we gonna be okay? Guess we'll find out. Now we'll collect those sweet data units. Sweet data units. Oh yeah. Sweet data units. Oh yeah. That's the song I just made up, in case you couldn't tell. Alright. Keep warping. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong number again. I gotta stop looking at this. 40 seconds left. Okay. 2010. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Please do what you're supposed to do. Goodness. Okay, we have all 4 ignitions, which is, you know, they have a 98.52% chance to ignite. I don't think there was a failure. The chance is crazy low, but it's possible we had a performance failure at the end. And that's what gave us the big wobble. Or it was just really bad variance. I mean, I think it was just bad variance, because this is working fine. Oh, goodness. At least we didn't have a failure on this launch. I'll take it. Okay, that's more what we expected. 63 and 147. Okay, and then I'm going to decouple right here. And I mean, our wobble is going from 10 degrees to like 7 degrees. It's a very small, I mean, we could look at the flight recorder and look at our pitch. Well, we could if we could zoom in. Yeah, I mean, we can see we're changing between like 9 and 3 degrees or something. Anyway. Okay, so now, I'll quick save again, and now we should be able to warp to Apoapsis. And it always scares me when it starts speeding up again, because it looks like the warp is speeding up, but it's really because the warp has gotten slower, so it's more accurately showing the rotation. Anyway, let's see. So our current rotation is 10. Okay, it's about the same thing. So in this case, I think waiting until our vertical speed is about -3 is just about right. So we'll wait for -3 here, which is a little bit past Apoapsis, but that's okay because of where our kind of our central pointing direction is, because it's going to make up some of that vertical speed. So -1, 2, and 3. Here we go. And can there even be a failure? No, there's no failures on this. So that's one of the reasons to use these, is you're guaranteed it's going to work. Wonderful. No test flight data here, just 100% chances. And there we go. Much better. And we even have connection. Wait, how? I don't have a level 3 tracking center. What? What? Hold on. Wait a second. Tech level 1. I guess the main tracking centers are still powerful enough to connect. Oh, but it's only at 32 bits per second. I see. What's our 63406? Okay, so we can connect to the main ones. Okay. It's just not a fast connection until I upgrade to tracking station 2. Sweet. Well, it feels good to have a successful mission. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, best angle to get on this little guy. But this has been a journey. 2 episodes just to get this one little guy in orbit. Just wait until we go to the moon. Oh boy. All right, well, that succeeds the magnetometry. And now we should be able to go back to the Space Center. And there's only one more, right? One more contract before we're done with the program. Yeah, Cherenkov detection, which will be the Grasshopper 3. And then we're done, which feels really good. And I think I'm ready to pay for that. Tracking station level 3. We can actually have good data rates. And go to the moon. Okay, so let's just go ahead and configure the Grasshopper 3. This should be super easy. The Grasshopper 3 just needs a Cherenkov science. And it doesn't even need a certain orbit. I can't even see. I guess I could go. Okay, sorry. We'll do this the right way. I hope they can fix that, because it kind of seems like a bug, right? That you don't even need a craft to have the correct orbit for 45 days. It just has to have the correct orbit. You know, we already talked about this in the last episode, but basically as I was raising my periapsis up, it happened to cross through the threshold of this one, and then it just checked it off forever. Rather than the orbit requirements have to be constantly met while it's checking for stable orbit. That would be nice. And it's also weird that this contract doesn't require the craft to have the Cherenkov counter experiment. It separately requires a new vessel in a certain orbit, and separately requires 75% of science from high Earth orbit. But what it doesn't do is require that part to be on this craft, which I think should at least be the minimum. I understand if you don't get all that science from this craft, right? That one they shouldn't have as a requirement. But they should at least require it to have the part on it, right? Or launch with the experiment in it. I guess that's slightly different because it can be inside the avionics. But anyway, I need to write this down because we actually don't know what it is. So the Cherenkov needs to have E is greater than 0.75. Perry is greater. Well, I should write it like this. 200 cam, less than Perry, less than 500 cam. So it's between 200 and 500. And nothing else matters, except we need electric charge. and Chernikov experiment, which it technically doesn't require, but I don't think I have. In this case, I do need it because I don't think I have anything with the Chernikov experiment in it. So we should be able to Grasshopper 3 it up without any worries, because this is a smaller orbit than before. And what we're gonna have to do is change. Let's see, let's change our avionics to be, ooh, interplanetary avionics. We could save 0.5 kilogram. I don't think that's worth it right now. Experiments. Move to Chernikov detector. Now I'm pretty sure we can't also do orbital perturbation because that requires, I think, a small. Ooh. What if we combined this? The reason I think that's not gonna work. Man, I wish I could look at contracts without exiting the VAB. Orbital perturbation. Yeah, it has different requirements. But again, it doesn't actually check that the satellite has the part in it. So we could totally cheese it, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna cheese it. I'm here to have fun and to be honorable. No, we lost our fairing. Why does that happen sometimes? I guess it happens because I'm not reloading the Grasshopper 3. But now we're gonna have the wrong experiment again. Alright. Alright, so we need the Chernikov detector 1. And that uses 500 milliwatts. It needs 0.04 eccentricity, which I will certainly have. And it only weighs 550 grams. What didn't the magnetometry weigh 15 kilograms? Yeah. So look at our delta V change. 12.4K, 12.9K. Just from that change alone. It's crazy. Alright, so we need, let's pull up our notes here. We need a minimum of 200 kilometer periapsis. So why don't I set that to be 350 so that we can be off a little bit? So we'll do a 350 kilometer by 40 million? 40 million is not good enough. 45 million? 45 million gives us an eccentricity of 76. Let's go with 48 million. Just to be safe. Okay. So now... Didn't mean to click on that. Alright, we can delete these guys. So now we're doing new notes. So we've got speed at Apo is 1270.1 when we are in a 48,000 km x 350 km. So now we need to look at yeah, 48,000 km x 145 km. And the velocity at apoapsis of this. And then that's the amount of delta V we need. So this one is 1252.6. So I only need 20 delta V on that last stage. That's really funny. Only need 20 delta V. So I can... This whole thing weighs 2 kilograms. I'm just gonna reduce the utilization so I don't throw other things off too. Gonna reduce that down. So we have 30 delta V, that's fine. We have a little bit of extra in case we got too much wobble. The power situation should also be sufficient, I think. Because... yeah, I'm consuming even less wattage, I think. Is that right? The magnetic required 6 watts. Yeah, and this only requires half. Alright, easy. Easy game, easy life. Alright. No, don't do that. Oh my. Just behave, please. It's kind of hilarious. Come on. How am I supposed to do this? Just really wants... there we go. Gotta get just the right angle. Okay. No other changes needed, I don't think. Let's go ahead and simulate this. And then our goal orbit is 145 by 48 mil. For this one, 145. Let's do 146 just because we know it's off by a little bit, and 49 mil. And then same things as normal here, which is 1, 5, 2, 3. Engage. We would at least prefer to go to sunrise. Ish. Okay. Let's do it. With any amount of luck, this will be a first try mission. We need that kind of luck. By the way, I know that it flops over a little bit there, and that's adding inefficiency. The reason I'm okay with it is because that gives us a bit more elevation when we pop this fairing, and that makes it less likely we tumble over, because we're having these tumbling issues. So because of that, and I had RCS on to start, I'm okay with that. And we have spare delta V anyway. So much spare delta V. This is over-designed by far. Which probably means I could redesign these to only be probably 2 in a row. I could probably have a single GCRC behind another one, and that would be good enough, and then I wouldn't have these weird torque problems. So if I really wanted this mission to go off without a hitch, I would probably redesign it that way because I have so much spare delta V anyway. But I don't have to redesign it if I just use it this way, so maybe we just hope for the best and watch the spinning plumes of doom. Ah! Full screenshot. Let's see what this thing actually does. Blast those things so far away. Oh my gosh. Alright. What do we got? 140... 6 by 49 mil is what we plugged in. But again, we lost 50 delta V from that last stage, which is very meaningful. Yeah, it's a little bit under. We're at 143 by 47 and a half. Okay, and then we separate. Wobble of -5 to 20. Okay, 12.5 degree wobble. I've had worse. I've had worse in this episode. Go ahead and warp to Apo. Now, can you do partial thrust with these RCS engines? I need to actually find out. The answer is... I'm pressing shift and nothing's happening. So... Wait, what? Shift and control just aren't working right now. Oh, it's because I'm on a science core probe. You're only allowed to do full throttle or no throttle on a science core. Partial throttle would require near-Earth avionics connection. Anyway, I'm between a little above 10 and -15. So we need to wait a little bit still. So I'll go... As usual, I think the way this burns, we want a couple meters a second vertical speed and then go for it. There we go. 421. I almost went too far. And then just because we are here and we can confirm that this actually completes the contract of Chernikov science, we should. So let us do some warpy warp and see what happens. Hey, you know what? It's important to hit the start button on your science experiments. Don't judge me too hard. You've done it too. LOL. There we go. There's the data. There's the data flowing in. All right, so we're going to need to pass through 45 days here to find out if we complete this contract. %75 of the science. Yep. Works. Sweet. Okay. That all makes me happy. What were the changes I wanted to make? I think just... I'm just sitting here like we could use the Altairs instead of the GCRCs. I guess GCRC is the brand, so maybe I should be calling these the 33KSs. But either way, these are so much better. Are they cheaper? No, they're more expensive. Okay. Well, there's my justification. Because I'm like, if these are cheaper, I should just replace them. Though, the problem with having a solid booster that kind of fizzles out at the end is that whole variance piece, but the variance is so much lower. 1.5 and 2.3. It has less than half the variance, and the residuals are smaller too. Minimum 1.5%. I don't think the residuals affect the delta V calculations as much because the residuals are factored in, but what's not factored in is dropping solid boosters early. I wish it could be, but I guess MechJeb would have to know the thrust curve for the solid rocket motor, because it provides full thrust for quite a while and then it starts to drop off at the end, right? And it would have to know the exact thrust curve to know exactly when to drop it, and therefore exactly how much delta V would be lost. And that's either really complicated or just something that somebody hasn't programmed yet. Anyway, I'm going to turn the science experiment on and go ahead, save it, and launch it. And the Grasshopper 3 should, well, I say should work. I mean, we have a good chance of failure here. Just from engine failure. We're in November of 59, by the way. We're behind our schedule. Alright, is this too late in the morning? I think this is too late in the morning. We need to be closer to sunrise. Especially because it's winter. The sun is rising further in the south, which means we really want it to be more towards the east. So we kind of need to be like almost pre-sunrise. I'll wait until that's like 2 hours and then we'll... As soon as there's some red on the horizon there. There we go. All right. Let's do it. Grasshopper 3, baby! Grasshopper 3. With almost 13,000 total delta V. That's the highest I've ever seen this number in RP-1. I guess that's something to be proud of. These are good, the settings. These settings are not good yet, but they will be. Okay, now these settings are good. Engage. F5. And spacebar in 3. What happened to this? How'd that get over there? Spacebar in 3, 2, 1. Launch. Ta-da! Beautiful. Alright, we're gonna fast forward this part. The chance we have a failure is pretty close to 0, though technically non-zero. Like we said, it's about a 1 in 30 chance. Fails at some point. Alright, and then we need to slow down, pop on the RCS. And it didn't flip over, thank goodness. And now we just hope this one doesn't fail. What's our MTBF now? It's a little better than it was before. We're up to 37 minutes. But I mean, think if you were using the full runtime. If you were using the full runtime, how many minutes is that? 40, is that 7 minutes? So that means you have like a 1 in 5 chance that it fails? That is rough. That is really rough. And that's with 2 launches already under our belt. It is just not a super consistent engine. Alright, let's hyperwarp here though. Please don't fail, please don't fail. It's unfortunate, even though if it failed right now, we'd have enough delta V. The problem is that it wouldn't, you know, we wouldn't end up with the right orbit because these are not liquid stages, and nor are they guided. So we kind of need the bottom 2 stages to go perfect. Alright, 40, 30, 20, no failures, 10, perfect. Alright, here we go. This is the moment of truth. Please, no crazy wobbles. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble. That was a really satisfying view. Really digging this whole spiral thing. Thrust slows down. Oof. Is that a bad wobble? It seems like a medium bad wobble. Certainly had worse. Again, worse in this episode even. But it's livable. Alright, what do we got? 141 by 38.8? Did we have a failure again? What happened? How is that so much worse? Okay, let me plug it in real quick. What's the actual difference of 39 mil versus 48 mil in terms of speed? So in terms of speed at the periapsis here, the orbit we wanted is 10,452.4. And if I change it to 39, it is 10,343.2. I mean, we're talking 100 meters a second difference. My variance on delta V is not that high, is it? Really bad wobble too. Maybe it's cosine losses because of the wobble. Oof. We might have another failure on our hands. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna warp to Apo. And I'm gonna take it really slow. Oh no, we're just screwed. Our eccentricity is already below 0.75. Frickin' heck. I mean, maybe I have the smallest chance. Why did I not leave 200 delta V in this stage? Because I don't have to use it all. I'm just gonna do a couple tiny kicks. Here, let me go slow-mo. Just to get above 200. Okay, there we go. And then I'm gonna use this 25 delta V at... Oh, it's facing the wrong way. Never mind. Yeah, there's no hope. Right, I can't orient it. Ugh, such a bummer. I was thinking I could use that, but no, we have no control over the craft. So when I get to periapsis, yeah, I'm pointed prograde, which means that's gonna slow me down, which would not increase eccentricity, unfortunately. I don't think there's a way I could ever increase eccentricity, because here we would raise the orbit by boosting that way, and here we would lower the orbit by boosting that way, and either way lowers eccentricity. So yeah, there's literally nothing I can do without turning around. Okay, well, we have another failure craft. Wonderful. I guess it can be a relay antenna for now until the panels die. Man, why the bad luck? I think I've had 5 simulations that all succeeded, and now 3 Grasshopper launches where 2 of them have now failed. Huh. Tells me something might be off. but it could just be bad luck on the launches. But I haven't gotten launches that are that far off when I'm simulating it. So that makes me start to wonder, like, is having engine failures off in the simulation, is that somehow changing variance and residuals? I'm pretty sure it's not, because we still are getting wobbles and stuff from the variance. I thought the only thing it did is it prevented the full-on engine failures. But these things are still all in play, I think. So... I'm not really sure. Well, nothing else we can do other than launch another one. And this episode is now going to be another 15 minutes because I thought that was going to be the end. But no. Grasshopper, oh, this is Grasshopper 4, sorry. All right. Is there anything else I need to do? Nah. We'll go to the moon someday. I still have 3 years. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Tracking station's done. Glorious. Ooh, it looks fancier now. We're back to a positive balance, which is good because I was running out of money. And then we'll roll this out. Go to sunrise. Okay. Please work for me. Given the inaccuracy that we've now had a couple times, feeling like 52 million is a better method here. All right, quick save. Yeah, I'm still just not really sure. Maybe it's cosine losses? Oh, forgot to hit engage autopilot. That'll do it. This is the correct one, right? 1960, Feb 1st, yeah. Wait, did I save twice? Looks like it. Anyway, yeah, I'm wondering if it was cosine loss based. Because if I was thrusting... Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, it's got to be cosine losses. Because look at this. I've got 4,300 delta V here. 4,300. If we're off by 10 degrees... The sine of 80 degrees is 98.4. So if we multiply that by 5,400 delta V, we do lose about 100 delta V. If we're, if we're constantly rotating 10 degrees off of the angle we're meant to be thrusting on. So it's possible that when we get a bad wobble, because we have so much delta V wrapped up in these solid stages, that it just is too much for the orbit that we want. The inaccuracies just build up. That's my theory anyway, on how this is happening. I don't think we've had part failures on the GCRC thrusters, but I think it's just been the you know, off-center thrust. That's been the problem. And when I say cosine loss, there's two types of losses, right? You'll also notice my engines are just not thrusting perfectly backwards, but that loss is already accounted for in, you know, MechJeb. So that one's not anything to worry about. It's the thrust when my whole ship, when the rocket ship is not pointed along the prograde direction, but 10 degrees off of the prograde direction. That's the type of losses that are not calculated in MechJeb. Because the whole goal is that it's pointing the ship in the right direction and then, you know, firing things off. I could also add another set of spin motors here so that it spins a little faster. Faster spin makes it more likely that, you know, the variances cancel out, and it makes the variances have a smaller impact when they happen. Yeah. There's a lot of methods here, but all of them are kind of iffy. The best method would have been not using solid rockets for 5,000 delta V. I think I'm realizing that's the problem, but here we are, beating our head against a wall until it falls down. Please no failure. Please mama no spaghetti. At least we're getting data units on the 0105. That's my justification. We need to keep launching grasshoppers just so we can collect more data units on this beautiful engine. Alright, 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. This ain't gonna work. Goodness. 2, 1, go. Alright, seems like it's pretty wobble-free to start. That's good. It's a good start. Let's hope it doesn't get crazy at the end. It's always at the end when things get really bad. Wobble less, wobble less. Okay, that's not bad. That's not a bad wobble at all. I think we got a good one. We got a good one, folks. We got a good one. Goodness, what a crazy time these grasshopper missions have been. I've enjoyed them. Alright, this should be a bit closer to what we wanted. Yeah, there we go. That's more in line. 79 eccentricity. 0.79, I should say. Go ahead and decouple here. Again, I don't know if it matters when you decouple. In fact, I don't think it does. But it might. I don't know the physics of that. We'll use the warp helper here. Where's the Earth? There she is. The blue orb. Okay. Now, what is our heading? Currently a little below the horizon, so I'll wait until full apoapsis here. And we are there. Okay, I'm gonna go into slow motion. Fire the engine. I go to slow motion just because that way 90% less happens per second, so my human reactions can keep up, because we're going for a periapsis between 200 and 500. And we can't make it too big. So we'll just fire the engine with Z and X here until we get to 200. Eccentricity is fine, so we'll go to 250 just to be safe. And there we go. Chernikov is complete. Magnetometry is not complete? Wait. Is this the thing that happens when the craft you launch forgets that you launched the craft and then you gotta check back in? Because we certainly... The Grasshopper 3... No, sorry, the Grasshopper 2 is the craft that completed that. Let's go to the tracking station. The tracking station should tell me how long the Grasshopper 2's been in orbit. Yeah, it's been in there for 83 days. So we should get the contract completed when we go fly it. I hope. If not, I'll be grumpy, because I'll have misunderstood something. Yay, we got it. Okay. Ta-da! Whew. Well, we achieved 4 orbits, but only 2 of them were the orbits we wanted. So 50% is not a passing grade, but it did get me reputation that I probably just ended up losing anyway, because I'm losing 200 reputation a year. So 50 reputation was not great. But the important part is it was part of the program. So now, once we have our Chernikov data, early Earth observational satellites will be complete. So for all intents and purposes, I have completed this program's requirements. It is just a matter of waiting now. And I have also completed 2 of the 4 contracts that we need for early commercial applications. And we just need some television satellites once we have a tracking station of level 4. It does say these contracts require satellite relay to be maintained for 1 year. That was not true of these 2, but it's possible it's true for this set. So I need to keep that in mind. I may only have 2 years, really, to finish these launches. And then lunar probes, we've got our full 3 years ahead of us. And all we have to do is a lunar flyby, a lunar impactor, and a lunar orbiter, and upgrade mission control, so we can actually use maneuver nodes finally, but that's another 60 grand. So I'm not too worried about those being done on time. And yeah, with that, we're gonna call it an episode. Whew, good times. I'm really loving RP1. I hope you guys are still enjoying it. I know I am. Thank you for watching. As always, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.